I don't watch the show that much, but I've seen enough.
Who is that? Who is that?
Greg Gutfeld's one of the hosts of The Five, who, if I don't have anything nice to say, I generally don't say anything at all. I would just say this. His show should be called Kat Timpf, not Gutfeld, because she's the funny one on it.
People have to wonder, where does Sunny Hostin get her opinions?
Yeah.
Like you said, and it's obviously from her husband. She has to tell her what to say on The View, because without it, she's got nothing up there. She's not very bright. But the problem with her is that she went full racist.
How do you define wokeness? Because I hear people use the term all the time, and it means something different to everybody.
Well, again, I think it's this collection of ideas that are not building on liberalism. But
when Greg Gutfeld and Bill Maher double up on The View, it isn't a debate, it's a demolition. The jokes land faster than the hosts can spin their talking points, leaving them scrambling for a comeback while the crowd is already cracking up at the highlights.
Well, it's time for
our view on The View. Ugh.
Joy, I'm obsessed with a lot of things that make me laugh every single day of my life, and you, little lady, are right up there with them. I'd love to have you on our show sometime. We'll even stock the green room with your favorite frozen mice. That's what you feel.
Not a debate, this was a televised ambush. Forget side-eye or a snarky comeback. Gutfeld and Maher turned The View into ground zero for a live-on-air meltdown. Gutfeld didn't just push back, he tore into the double standards with surgical sarcasm, while Maher strolled in armed with that bone-dry wit and dropped blunt one-liners like grenades that if you still think daytime TV is just polite chatter over coffee mugs, you missed a full-blown detonation. No pauses, no guardrails, no hot topics fluff, just code red carnage on a couch that didn't see it coming. The fallout wasn't measured in ratings, it was measured in stunned silence and nervous laughs, and the craziest part? This wasn't some natural pairing. Gutfeld, the conservative sniper with sarcasm for ammo. Maher, the liberal cynic who says cancel culture is more dangerous than half the stuff the news screams about. Put them together, and suddenly The View isn't a panel, it's a roast with extra napalm. New York might have been busy recalling sausages for plastic bits, but Gutfeld and Maher? They were serving something way spicier, truth cooked raw, served hot, and seasoned heavy with shade.
well, I can't say it enough. I think they're the bigger threat. But don't tell me that the left hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a joke. But,
Too dark.
If he were black, you could run for president and probably win. But there she goes again, playing the race card. She's more predictable than gas after a cheesy Gordita Supreme at Taco Bell. For someone named Sunny, she sure is.
ChatGPT said. The View stopped being a discussion a long time ago. It's more like a caffeinated brawl where coffee mugs double as props and reason disappears quicker than the theme music. Logic? That left the studio somewhere around season 17. You could drop a Nobel laureate onto that couch and within minutes they'd be wondering if their latte was spiked with delusion. The show isn't about dissecting ideas anymore, it's a contest of who can out-yell, out-frown, and out-fake empathy while basking in their own smugness. Then in walk Greg and Bill, and suddenly it's not left versus right, it's reality versus theater. Gutfeld, who treats roasting The View like his personal cardio, was locked in from the jump. A painlist spits out a wild take? He doesn't flinch, just fires off an eye roll so intense it could knock the planet off axis. His signature dig, that the show markets itself as different perspectives, when in reality it's 5 people shouting the same point in slightly different tones, each convinced they're Socrates reincarnated. This round, he went further than clowning the format. He torched the cast. Joy Behar got hit first, Greg shredded her mid-sentence historical rewrites. Sunny Hostin caught smoke for that. If I said it, it's automatically fact swagger. And Whoopi? Greg turned her moderator to philosopher flip into a punchline about daytime wisdom going off the rails. The MIC drop moment? Greg pointed out Joy once wore blackface for Halloween, his savage way of saying her lectures on racism ring hollow. And the best part? Joy wasn't even there. Greg cracked that Mondays must be her pasture days, a weekly sarcasm sabbatical to recharge her batteries, like that one flaky friend who suddenly has an endless stream of funerals every time you make plans. He even joked she probably spends Mondays sorting through the hate mail she gets from her own co-hosts.
You keep wearing that red hat that says Make America Great Again. That tells people that you go along with this. So you might as well just put a sticker on the hat.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Because we see it anyway.
I'm not going to defend Donald Trump ever, but I would never say that we should put this on the cap because I think you can hate Donald Trump. You can't hate everybody who likes him. Joy is a wonderful human being, and she should not be afraid that people are going to attack her because she said that thing about the on the cap.
Well,
she does not think that as you said to me in the break, you do not think that all the people who are for Trump are.
No, I don't.
You
I don't. I just want them to pay attention to words like vermin and poisoning.
To Greg, The View doesn't resemble a talk show anymore. It's more like a group therapy session where the therapists storm out halfway through, leaving the guests as crash test dummies for emotional venting. But buried beneath the sarcasm, he hits a serious chord. The show abandoned real dialogue ages ago that it's no longer let's exchange perspectives. It's admit you're wrong or get bulldozed. Disagreement isn't part of the script, it's punished. Instead, viewers get a loop of heavy sighs, dagger-sharp side eyes, and snide little asides disguised as insight. Try to make a full point, and you'll be cut off mid-thought by a smirk and an interruption that carries more ego than evidence. Greg dismantled their branding of inclusivity, pointing out it doesn't feel like an open table, it feels like standing in front of an industrial fan set to Arctic blast. Less welcome, more whiplash.
I'm not going to defend Donald Trump ever, but I would never say that we should put this on the cap because I think you can hate Donald Trump. You can't hate everybody who likes him. It's half the country. I don't want to live in that country. I don't want to live in the country where I hate half the country and I don't hate half the country.
According to Greg, if you're not marching in lockstep with the View's narrative, you're not there to contribute, you're there to be publicly dunked on. No sugarcoating, no polite spin. He called it what he sees it as, performance activism. Not conversation, not journalism, just Broadway with bad lighting, where the eyebrows do more acting than the dialogue. And Greg didn't just torch the panel, he lobbed grenades behind the cameras, too. He joked that the real host of The View isn't Whoopi, Joy, or Sunny, it's the poor teleprompter operator sweating bullets in the back, praying for a merciful cut to commercials before another fact-free rant careens off the rails on live TV.
Dora's box for some crazies out there.
The only crazies I see around here are those View chicks. Am I right? Would say. But I digress, says the they talk less sense than me after stealing those pills from Kat's purse.
Greg flipped the script completely, saying The View doesn't even exist in reality anymore. It's basically a Twitter thread that grew legs. Chaotic, messy, and loud just for the sake of noise. It's feelings first, facts last. Yelling drowns out logic, and the substance gets lost somewhere between the sighs and the side eyes. When asked if he's ever made it through an entire episode, Greg cracked, no woman could survive that unless she's got nothing going on upstairs. Savage. He torched the progressives on the panel too, pointing out the irony of acting like nothing's improved while sitting on national television cashing daytime TV checks. His hot take? If things aren't getting better, maybe you're the ones blocking the door and Joy Behar? Greg didn't let her slide. He quipped that she was probably at home thinking, skipping this circus was my smartest move yet. But he also threw shade at her convenient absences, hinting maybe they're not so random, especially for someone who self-appointed herself as the voice of systemic racism while also being one of the whitest faces in daytime. Cue the receipts, her infamous Diana Ross Halloween costume. Greg ripped the audacity of Joy claiming she felt treated differently in it, like a wig and bronzer suddenly handed her a cultural PhD. Then came the cherry on top, Joy pretending not to know who Greg is. On The View, the co-hosts laughed, asking, who is he? I've never heard of him. Greg fired back on his show, yeah, next Joy's gonna claim she's never heard of carbs. Her denial of knowing me is about as believable as her red hair. Brutal, and just when you thought the roast peaked, Bill Maher walked in. The guy has built his whole career on being a professional contrarian.